Hey, friends. It's Elizabeth with the Find Your Line of Grace podcast. This is coaching, where in 12 weeks I teach body workers and yoga teachers how to deepen their one on one experiences so that they can make more impact with their clients and also increase their revenues. So, if you are a body worker and you've been thinking about doing a yoga teacher training, reach on out to me. I would love to support you with yoga embodiment coaching. So, I have a really awesome friend today, Majid. Let me see. Yes, yes, here we are. Great.
Hey there.
Hey, oh my
There we
gosh,
go.
I'm so glad we're here finally. It took a while to
Yeah.
line up.
Get connected and everything. How are you today?
I am so good. How are you?
Not too bad, a little bit toasty. The AC busted in my gym today, so I spent all morning just dripping sweat. It was great.
Oh
But
my gosh.
that's why I was like, I gotta jump in the shower. I was just my whole face was red, just dripping. I had to cool off really quick. So we're good now though. Um,
Oh, right on.
hopefully it'll all be fixed tomorrow. We're getting a new unit out there, so yeah.
Wow. And tell me where you are.
Of of all places, I'm in Texas.
Oh my gosh, what part of
Yeah,
Texas?
down. I'm right outside of Austin, so it's called San Marcos. It's about 45 minutes south of Austin. I was born and raised. I grew up in Austin, but I came down here for college and never left. It's a nice small town. It's a good community. Everything is local here, not a lot of big corporations. So I like that. I like that groove a lot. So yeah, we're down here, but we've we've already been experiencing summer for the last month. So we've been seeing triple digits. It's not fun. It's really not. So
Wow. Well, it sounds like a
yeah,
lovely place. Totally my kind of place. I love those small town vibes. And
yeah,
my
a lot of
question for you
outdoor
now,
stuff.
though, is are you hydrated? Have you hydrated appropriately?
I'm already a gallon in for the day.
Wow. Good.
Yeah, yeah. I
Good.
sweat most
So
of it out.
tell me a little more about you. Like, what do? You own a gym in San Marcos, and
Yeah, I
tell me
run
a little bit more
Epoch.
about.
Absolutely, yeah. I run Epoch Fitness in San Marcos. For those of you that don't know, Epoch is this kind of a nice little pun play on words here. The acronym actually means excess post oxygen consumption. That's why we got the O2. It is actually whenever you're exercising and you get to the point where you're just sucking wind, that is epoch. Okay, but epoch, the word itself also means beginning of or the start of a new journey, right? That's usually spelled with an H at the end. So it's kind of works out in both ways, right? For people that are just getting started, I mostly do functional training. I work with a lot of beginners who are trying to start their journey off, but I do have a lot of athletes as well. People that are looking to go to the next level, that have been having trouble gaining muscle or having trouble putting on some weight. I help with that too, but I specialize in weight loss and helping just the average Joe get more active in their life. I'm really big about longevity, right? So just everybody wants to live longer, and I try to drill that into my clients that the goal here is to build muscle, to be lean, and to be healthy throughout your life, so that we don't encounter issues like going up the stairs being a struggle, or we don't have to sit there and stare at that box that's 20 pounds and wonder how we're going to pick that up and get it overhead. All that stuff should come naturally. So I like to train people on the functional side of things, just to kind of teach them how to incorporate that to their everyday lifestyle, right? And then eventually build new habits. So that's the big thing. Is my signature program is about the lifestyle reform. And I like to teach people how to break their old habits and learn new habits that you start implementing to your everyday life.
I love so much about that. And there's one part in particular I remember reading about your, I think it was in your bio, when you talk about your coaching, you also add happiness in there.
That's a
Yeah,
big one,
tell
right?
me more
That's
about
a really
that.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people don't realize they've been in this cycle, right, for a majority of their lives, especially when we become working professionals. We do our 9 to 5, and we don't realize how much time we spend focused on doing stuff for other people because we've just been conditioned this way our entire life. You know, you graduate college, or you go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you get a job, and you start working your 9 to 5. And that's really just what I'm trying to teach people is like you can still do that and do the things you like, because most of the time people are getting off work and like, well, I've been at work all day, so I've earned to be lazy the rest of the day. I've earned being on the couch the rest of the day. When I'm trying to break that habit and teach people, well, let's reward ourselves after we do something for ourselves as well, right? Because yes, you were productive today, but you were productive for someone else. This entire time you were bleeding on someone else's clock. What did you do for yourself? And that's where people become unhappy. And they don't realize that because they're taking so much focus away from themselves and their everyday lives, that's what's slowly making them more and more unhappy, and dreading going to work and dreading waking up and this and that. And then you don't enjoy your day. You come home, you're miserable, you're tired, you just want to go to sleep or lay down on the couch or whatever, and you fall into that slump, and it's a downward spiral, right? It's a slippery slope, and we never end up getting to where we want. You never go after your goals. Your ambitions start to decline and everything, and you don't do the things that you want to do because you're either too tired from working for somebody else, or you're just not motivated, right? So increasing that mental clarity and the overall happiness is one of the biggest parts of my program. Right. Yeah, I know a lot of people are going for the aesthetics and losing weight, but I like to teach people that's a secondary. That should be a secondary measurement that comes with your happiness, that comes with your lifestyle reform. Once you start to develop these new habits, all that will come. The weight loss will come, the muscle gain will come. Everyone is looking for that intense program that's so specific to them, and this is what's going to help me gain muscle and lose fat. But realistically, you just need to start moving your body. You need to start doing stuff that stresses you out less. These stressors are what's causing you to gain weight. These stressors are what's causing you to be depressed, and what's causing you to not want to be motivated when you get home from work. So that's why I'm so big about reinforcing like the mental clarity, right?
I think that's super, super important. And I definitely know for myself that when I hone that part, and I'm a huge proponent of play. I mean, that's just like the core, one of my super strong core values, that you also become lighter and more vibrant. Like increase your in yoga we use the word shakti. You increase your energy, which in the
Right.
concept of like aesthetics, right? Like that, it just makes you more of a vibrant, beautiful being anyway.
Absolutely. Because we other people feed off that, whether they know it or not, they feed off that energy. And if you're not confident, people know it, whether they see it directly or not. It's the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. And that all goes back to whether or not you're ultimately happy in your life. If you're not going to be confident with yourself. So through this journey, you develop that more self-esteem, and you develop that confidence that helps you go to the next step, right?
Well, I think you are really on to something that's super awesome. And so, as you know, my podcast is called Find Your Line of Grace. And I just love to offer a little tidbit about that. So I'm a structural integration bodywork practitioner and also a functional yoga teacher. And part of what we look at in the structural bodywork world are the fascial lines, the posture lines, the way
Hmm.
someone holds and carries himself in this field of gravity that's really trying always to bring us down. And it's
Right.
great. But when we're aligned in gravity, then we can also have levity. We can have more buoyancy through this field of gravity. And so that's the essence of finding that line of grace, is finding that buoyancy. And essentially, it's not only just gravity, but it's this kind of chaotic world, this world full of distractions and body image talk and like so much conflict and war and dissatisfaction. And I'm just wondering, like, how do you find your line of grace in life? Like, what keeps you motivated and happy and buoyant?
So, I mean, it's a great question because it's very easy to lose sight of what you want, especially when you dedicate your life to helping other people's, right? And I actually had this similar conversation yesterday with one of my clients when they were trying to ask me, well, who's your most difficult client? And I kept doing this. And it took him a second, like, what do you mean? Like people that are in shape? And I'm like, no, me, like me, I'm my most difficult client because I got to keep myself in mind as well as imagine spending your entire day dedicating all your mental and your physical energy to someone else, right? It's hard to be motivated when you come home or want to do it on your own, right? So here's my thing. I am maniacal about exercise and fitness and everything. I work out 2 times a day. I have for years. And if I don't do that, I won't have my clarity, right? So my thing is I get up early before my clients and I take care of number one. And then, my breaks, I take care of number two. I make sure everything is lined up for the day. All my priorities are taken care of before I get home. But it took me a while to get to that, right? It took me a while to figure out that is what was giving me my clarity, that physical activity. I spent a lot of my childhood and then through middle school, high school, and then even at the beginning of my early 20s, battling with losing weight and not being active and just sitting around all the time. So I tried to find what motivated me, right? And that was seeing other people in the gym. And this doesn't relate to everybody, right? But seeing other people in the gym and their progress and what they can do in life and how much better they lived their lives because they were physically active, that kept me going. That kept me motivated. And it gave me something to kind of go after, right? So my main thing is I always have a goal that I'm working towards, because if I don't, it's easy to let myself slip, right? So right now, my wife and I are doing my 12-week challenge, because why should I have other people do it if I'm not going to do it myself, right? And yes, this is the route I chose to reform my lifestyle in the beginning when I was in my early 20s. I'm 32 now, so that was over 10 years ago I did that. But I want to guide people along that same path, what I did to get my mental clarity, what I did to get myself in the right mindset, right? And that was the big one right there, is the mindset, and teaching people how to get in that mindset. For me, it was going to the gym and inspired by other people, right? For others, it might be different. You might have some internal motivation. I needed the external factors. That's what I needed. I wish I hired a trainer when I was in my early 20s. I might have found that line of grace quicker, right? But that's okay.
Mhm.
I still found it, and I found what I love, and I found what I'm passionate about, right? So when I digressed a little bit. So to get back to your question,
Yeah.
when I was in my early 20s, I dropped out of college because I didn't know what I was doing. I started getting into management. I just managed a pizza store, a restaurant for a while, and just something to, earn some cash, right? Well, that helped my resume, and I ended up working for a nutrition store after. That's where I fell in love with the nutrition side of things. And we did challenges for people, 21-day, 3-month challenges, things like that, in that nutrition store that helped them lose weight. And I saw the confidence it would give people, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to help people. I want to help them with their everyday life. So I saved up some money being a GM, and I up and quit my job. I put in a 2-week notice, and I enrolled back into college and decided to pursue a career or a degree that would help me do that. I spoke with my counselor a few times. She said, well, maybe you should check out physiology. I immediately fell in love. I'm a big science guy. I love science. So as soon as I started taking my first class, I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to help other people get to where they want to get, right?
I love that. That's awesome. And so it sounds to me like you've really been like, this is a culmination, your program right now. Tell me specifically a little bit more about this 12-week program, and why would people need this? We've talked a little bit about how happiness, we've talked a little bit about weight loss. So go into that in a little more detail for me.
So, and that's one thing I like to clear up with people when they start the program, right? Is that I don't want you to just focus on the number on the scale, because that's where you get discouraged. So I base the whole program off 3 keys, okay? Number one is going to be making sacrifices, and that's the biggest mistake people make, is they want to reform their lifestyle, but you still want to do the same exercise, the same habits, right? We have to make the sacrifice. We have to sacrifice some of those habits in order to make the ultimate change, and it could be small, it could be big. But just for example, I had a client that was seeing me every 2 days, 2 days a week after work, right? Every Tuesday, Thursday. And every other session she'd have to cancel because she was getting off at a different time. I was like, well, what if we meet in the morning? You go in at the same time. That's not changing. That's consistent. Let's meet in the morning. She's like, well, I do this, this, and this when I get off work, and I take care of my kid, and he's in bed by this time. And then I was like, okay, what do you do between the hours of 10 and 12? Well, I'll probably just wind down and watch TV. I'm like, what if you watch TV for 1 hour instead of 2 hours? Go to bed 1 hour earlier, wake up 1 hour earlier, and let's start our workout. She's like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Genius. Boom. That's a sacrifice, right? That's something that she did every day that she didn't realize was hindering her from making progress. Sometimes you just got to point it out for people. Okay. Number two was consistency. And that was the biggest issue with people. So I used to do like 21-day challenges. Everyone's heard it takes 21 days to build a habit, but you build that habit and it's easy to break unless it's a part of your life. So that's why I chose 90 days, because it takes 3 weeks to build a habit, but it takes 3 months to reform that lifestyle, to actually exercise that habit and make it a part of your life, right? So with that being said, consistency along the way, we need to stay on track. And for most people, it's because they don't see immediate results, right? These phones, what we're talking through right now, are the sole reason why this country is big about instant gratification. Everything is at the tip of your thumbs. Anything you want, you can order right now. We can hop off this call and you can order a new car like that. You know, that's crazy to me. People don't realize how much that rewires your wants and your needs. Okay, because we used to have to, I remember having to like order something and wait 2-3 weeks for it to come in. Now Amazon is like next day shipping, and that's if you're lucky that that website even had what you wanted. You know what I mean? Like most of the time you have to go to the store and shop for what you wanted. There was like, okay, you figure out what you want, you figure out what you want to pay. Okay, I'll buy it again in a month. There's no, now it's buy it right now, right then and there, right? It's that instant gratification. And it's what I was trying to tie into with the consistency is my third point, right? My third pillar. I'm sorry, I totally just lost my train of thought. My dog was barking.
Well, we got the sacrifice and the consistency. So you were going on to the third pillar of your 12-week program that you teach people.
I think I lost you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Am I moving? Uh-oh. Are you frozen? It looks like you might be frozen, Majid. Oh. Okay, well, Majid is frozen right now. So I am really excited to learn more about his program. So you know what I'm going to do, because I'm a stinker, is I'm going to leave this on a cliffhanger and we're going to do a part 2. So you guys heard it. Majid's program is transforming people's lives. He's bringing them forth happiness. He's supporting them with strength, functional movement, and some weight loss. And he's doing it through sacrifice, consistency, and what else?
Okay. Are we good?
There he is.
I'm sorry.
I was just giving everyone a recap.
I'm sorry. That was on my end. Okay. We were going over my three keys, right? Right. So what I was trying to tie into with the instant gratification is the goal setting. Okay. And that's my third key, because everybody wants the results instantly. That's what becomes discouraging along the way. And that's why I'm big about reinforcing the setting goals. Okay. But that's broken into 2 categories, one being short-term and one being long-term goals. So figure out your long-term. What do I want? Okay. I'm looking to lose weight. This is just for example. I want to drop 100 pounds. Okay, cool. That's a great long-term goal, but let's think realistically. You're not going to lose that in 90 days. You might, if you dehydrate yourself and starve yourself a lot, you might lose a lot of water weight and lose a good amount of weight, but it's unlikely that you're going to lose healthy weight in 90 days, right? And people want that. Again, I'm tying this back to the cell phones and how we get everything immediately. So what I like to do is I want them to set baby goals along the way, okay? Short-term goals along the way, And this doesn't always have to pertain to weight loss, right? So this whole journey, this whole regiment that you're doing is not always about what's on the scale. It's, can I plank for a minute? Can I plank for a minute and a half? Can I do 10 push-ups? Last week I was doing 10 push-ups. Next month I did 20 push-ups. That's great progress. You have to consider things like that along the way. And so I like to reinforce that, because it's not only motivates you, but you always have something to work towards, right? So it's like, cool, I knocked out one of my small goals. We set monthly, right? So I knocked out my monthly goal. Boom. What's my goal for next month? And then what's my goal for the month after that? And all of that is stepping stones to achieving my long-term goal. And it's kind of breaking that mindset of instant gratification.
Mm. Yeah, I think your program sounds amazing, and it sounds really accessible too, like creating those baby steps. I think it can be super daunting for
Yeah.
people, especially if they're just
Yeah.
starting out on their fitness journey, on a wellness journey. They're, playing with nutrition for the very first time. It can be super intimidating. And like you said, we have this instant gratification with our phones. We can also look up so many things on our phones and be like, oh, there's like 81 hits on a
Yeah.
healthy diet meal plan,
Yeah.
So I think you're really, really serving the people a lot, especially with those baby step ideas, and then structuring it along with that sacrifice and that
Thank you.
consistency piece as well. Yeah, it's awesome. So I want to honor our time. Can we launch into a little rapid fire here?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay.
Sorry for taking a little more time there.
No, it's great. It's great. And I think we should totally do a part two sometime. So,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
so Majid, how do you like to play?
How do I like to play?
Yeah.
As in have fun? I like to.
Yeah.
I'm kind of boring. I'm a video game guy. I love video
Oh,
games. Yeah,
you
I'm really big on that. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them that. They're like, "You're so active and healthy." And blah, blah. I was like, if I'm not at the gym, and if I'm done for the day and I don't have any more clients, I'm gonna play my PlayStation. I grew up doing that, and I'm gonna continue to do that. That's how I like to have fun.
I just got to interject in this rapid fire though. Like I had this whole like expansiveness in my brain concept around video game culture during COVID, because it was a way that my son could connect and play with his friends. And
Yeah,
not only his friends locally, but like suddenly he had this global, thread of people that he's able to like play with and interact with. It's so cool. Like, there's really, really
yeah, it
some
really
some
is.
awesome benefits to it. So
Yeah, I play
that's a
with my
great way to
buddies
play.
every night. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so where did you travel to most recently?
Colorado. It's
Mm,
it's been a while though. I'm due for a vacation. It's been about 9 months, 10 months.
yeah, I
Yeah.
hear that.
Last place
What's
I went was Denver though. We went to Red Rock, and we went hiking and stuff. It was good. It's a good time.
nice? Yeah. What's your favorite genre of food?
Well, I am Middle Eastern, and so Arabic food is my favorite. Yeah.
What's your favorite all-time book?
The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. Favorite movie of all time?
The Usual Suspects.
Oh, yes. I love that you said that.
Classic.
Uh,
Classic.
so
That's what I named my
classic.
dog after, Kaiser Sosa.
Kaiser? Oh my God.
Hmm
I did get a dog named Kaiser the other day. He
And
was
he's a
great
German
until he
Shepherd,
tried
so
to
it works.
attack my dog.
Oh no.
I'm like, serves you right. You're a Kaiser. You're sneaky.
Yeah.
If you could see any band or live show right now, who would it be? What would it be?
Alive or dead artist?
Oh, anyone. You could conjure the dead. Yeah.
Conjure the Dead, I'd watch Tupac Shakur all day.
Oh, good job, buddy. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here with me. And I can't wait to do this again. That was a great chat. And tell people
Yeah,
where they can find you. Find Majid. He's awesome.
absolutely. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. You can find me under Madge Fit on Instagram or Epoch Fitness on Facebook. I do post daily content, so check me out. Give me an ad. I'd love to have y'all on there.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
your
much.
time today.
Have a great day. Bye.